What's up, everybody? Me checking in about White Knight Chronicles. This is basically just kind of a run through about what I feel about the game from the 25 hours plus mark. I didn't really want to make a video earlier because I didn't think I'd have enough information to really do anything justice to the game. As far as storyline goes, it's your typical storyline. Hero needs to save princess. Kind of, it's been done before. It's nothing special. The music and the graphics is really good. I actually enjoy the music. I haven't actually run into any songs that I found to be annoying or anything. And as far as visuals go, with decoration of the levels and things like that, they did a really good job, I'd have to say. Character creation on the character that you can make is pretty in-depth. You can actually do a lot. You can change pretty much anything you can think of, I would say. The only problem with that is, like, your character doesn't exactly play any key role to the storyline, so it really doesn't matter what your character looks like. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of people who play the game just throw their character off and just never use it. But if you did that, then you really can't take advantage of the online game stuff, like the quests and things to get extra armor. As far as the battles go and the combat system, it's real basic. I mean, super simplified. I mean, it has somewhat of a, like, I guess, detail to it, but not really anything worth mentioning. In fact, the combat system is the only thing about the entire game I can't stand. The combat system isn't hard at all. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if you dropped a controller into somebody's hand and said, hey, beat this boss for me, and they've never played a video game in their life. I mean, they could be the noobiest noob of all noobs and still manage to defeat that boss. Hell, all they have to do is practically mash the X button on whatever the hell attack they're on, and eventually that boss will die, and chances are you're going to win. In fact, up until yesterday night, I don't think I even died in the entire game, and the only reason I died that time is because I was, like, trying something super bold. I had decided, hey, man, I want to see if I can take out, like, a whole mess of enemies just by myself without my people. Because the character I designed was a mage, so I went in there, ran up to like 5 enemies, and I started to cast my AoE spell. It killed me before I had a chance to do it, so it's the only time I've died. Sadly, that's the only way you can die in the game, I think. I mean, as far as I know, battles probably won't get any more complex than that, but if they do, which would be cool, then maybe not so bad. I'm not really sure if the story is completely captivating. Yeah, as far as the 25 hours or more, I haven't clocked it or anything, but as far as the amount of time I actually spent playing the game, it's been okay. The story is actually not bad. I'm not real hard on judging voice acting or anything like that. I think the voice acting's fine. Maybe in the beginning of the game it wasn't as good as it could have been, but maybe they started there. I assume they started there, so maybe the voice acting in the beginning wasn't as good, but I just think that the story is just pretty basic. I mean, you can probably predict, if you're one of those type of people who likes to predict storylines, you could probably predict the outcome of the story. In fact, everybody can predict the outcome of the story. I mean, obviously, the heroes are probably going to save the princess. Obviously. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that that's probably going to happen. With that said, it does have some things in the story which I guess you could say are surprises. Though when I found out some of these surprises, you would think that you'd be like, oh, damn. Or, kind of like emotionally shocked, but I just didn't have anything to really say about it. I was just like, okay, so that person's that, or that's what's going on here, It wasn't really anything that kind of, like, affected me personally. But, If you've never played an RPG, I would say since it's so easy in the combat system, this is probably a good RPG starter for you if you've never played an RPG. If you have played RPGs and you love RPGs and you're all about storyline, and you're all about music, you're all about graphics, cutscenes, and all that stuff, you're probably going to be maybe let down. But still, I can't say. I mean, I like it so far. 25 hours in, I'm happy. I mean, I'm pretty sure I don't have much more to play. I've read that it's a 100-hour game, but I doubt it. I'll probably be able to complete it in about 45. So I'm probably more than halfway through, if not halfway through. The only thing I'm hoping for is that, you know, it has a solid ending. The beginning was pretty solid. I liked how they opened the game. It wasn't as good as it could have been, but it was still really good. You know, the biggest thing that bothers me, my biggest pet peeve about RPGs, and I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but to make a good, really good RPG, I really think there has to be a really good villain. It doesn't matter how badass your main characters are, or your leading role character for the storyline, the main hero. It doesn't matter how badass that character is. He could be the uberest fucking badass mother of all. I mean, nobody can stand a chance up against this guy. But if you do not have a villain that is challenging that character, that is annoying, that is getting to you personally, the player, emotionally, well then that villain is not a good enough villain. And that game probably will let you down, because all the games that I've ever played where there was a solid villain, I always enjoyed those. Always. There's never been a game where I said, man, this game sucks, when the villain was awesome. If that villain is sick and he's pissing you off personally, and you, I mean, granted, you're going to be pissed. You might throw that controller, but by the end of that game, when you kick that villain's ass, I guarantee you'll say, that's right, motherfucker, you're dead, and I win. And you will feel satisfied and gratification at the end of the game. When those credits roll, you'll be like, yeah, that's right, who won? You won. So if there's not a good villain, then the story just probably won't be strong. And so far in White Knight Chronicles, I'm still trying to figure out who the villain is. I think that's their biggest mistake. I think they should have had a strong villain character in the beginning of the game. That's what's lacking for me. You know, there was a villain character that was slightly villainous and strong, I guess you could say, but you know, since the combat system is not challenging, you're not getting a sense of how badass the villain is, because you know, you can, like I said, give it to a noob and they'll take out that boss with no issues. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if, like, I gave it to, like, one of my nieces or nephews. They're not even 4 yet. They'll probably take out that boss just by, like, tapping a button. Hell, I could tape down, if I had a turbo controller, I can tape down the X button and then just let it auto hit X for me, and I can walk away. Guarantee, walk back in 5 to 10 minutes, that boss is probably dead. I'm serious, it's that easy. That is the biggest problem with the game, I think. That being said, I mean, I like the story so far. If anything, the storyline is the only thing it's got going for it, other than the graphics and the sound and the character creation. That's pretty cool. I mean, I like all that stuff. I just, you know, all the other stuff that I just mentioned, it just needs to be better, and I don't think it's going to get better. And if it doesn't, or if it does, I will be sure to come back here and let you guys know. Man, villains, dude, need good ones. Game people, you developers, and you people making games, and you game testers, tell them people, let them know, hey, this game, it's not that good. I think we should do this. You know, if you're a tester and you have good ideas for a game storyline or something, you know, let them know. And if the developer's not listening to you and you actually had a good idea, well, maybe you should be making the games and they should be testing your crap, because I can't stand playing a shitty game. Now, I'm not saying this game is shitty, though, but if I was a tester, I would be sure to let people know my true feelings about how that game is.